So the bottom line for the forecast change as I look at the severe weather threat tonight, folks, is this is a long duration event. If I consider the start time, which has not changed, to the end time, which now lags into possibly late tomorrow morning, Wednesday morning. It could be almost noon before the front has moved through portions of west central Missouri. So, yeah, consider all that. I think it's just a long event. All modes of severe weather are possible with the bulk of the danger happening overnight still. So, once again, check and see what you can do for several ways to receive severe weather alerts. Apparently, that's how things are going this year. But that's especially true tonight. All modes of severe weather starting off in central Kansas, working its way this way, possibly having some around sunrise activity in west central Missouri tomorrow is what I'm looking at. No significant change to the severe weather outlook forecast area. We are in the enhanced 3 out of 5. That's that orange color in central Kansas and east central Kansas, picking up Hutchinson, Emporia, Chanute, Coffeyville, Wichita, and portions south down towards Oklahoma. No significant change there. Looking at the data, this is what causes it. Look at this big low hanging out over Colorado this morning. Notice these lines here indicating our pressure gradient. So watch what happens with that. As I just scoot through into the morning, you can see the pressure gradient tightening up. So that means this. This is how things are going to go, picking up now, looking through tomorrow morning. Here's our wind speeds throughout the next few morning hours. And then watch what happens as we get closer to noon. This is going to gust up pretty good, 24 mile per hour steady winds out of the southeast. That's wrapping in additional moisture. Not a good thing when it comes to severe weather. Headed toward the afternoon hours with wind gusts. Yeah, looking at the same area. This is east central Kansas. We could get up to 41 mile per hour wind gusts. And then we just have a little bit, the same area keeps happening again. Same theme down here in west central Missouri, 35, possibly not some 40 mile per hour wind gusts, but plenty noticeable today. That will be. This is what that does because those winds are out of the southeast, wrapping in moisture. We start off at about 42 using Harrisonville numbers this morning, but that's going to pick up the temp pretty quick. Add some heat, add some instability today, but Harrisonville temperatures topping out at about 64 this afternoon. If I look down in Nevada, let's look at you guys a few degrees higher, possibly seeing 67 this afternoon. So here's what I see as far as timing, and I want to start right off the bat out here in Kansas this evening. I'm looking between 7 and 8 p.m., and these little cells cropping up out here, these little discrete cells, this is not good when we're talking about risk for tornadoes because the main front is coming in back here behind, but it's these pop outs out here. This is one conditional. When we say conditional tornado threat, this is one condition being met. So we have plenty to watch out there in south central Kansas this evening as we head toward the 9:10 now p.m. hour. So I'm still looking at big cells out ahead of the front. So some people are going to think this is it tonight as this comes through, but it is not. The main line is going to come in behind. This is now looking at 11 p.m. So west central Missouri, we could see some activity between 10 and midnight to 1, 2 a.m. This could slow down a little bit more as it has. So given big, broad time ranges here, just to be aware. But that will not be all that there is to the story. Look at midnight now as we move closer to the metro area. I'm looking now at 2. See, this is where the big lag comes in. We have a lot to pay attention to tonight as far as what is upper level and what will be reaching the surface. More on that probably later. But here's 2 a.m., now 3 a.m., looking towards KC Metro. But look how much this lags down here. So now southeast Kansas starting to pick up activity around 4, 5 a.m., 6 a.m. now as this starts to come into west central Missouri, probably more around 3, 4 a.m. But here looking towards 6, this is going to be an interesting dynamic, seeing what happens as maybe this starts to gust out, but we still have some strong thunderstorm cells moving in, especially on the southern edge of this system. So let's move this over to Missouri and see what happens now toward the 7 a.m. Look at this. I'm already up to 7 a.m. Wednesday that I still see strong thunderstorm cells moving all across west central Missouri before things will finally start to gust off to the east. But this is possibly as late as 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. So big slowdown there. One of the things I will get to look at in the evening hours tomorrow, significant tornado parameter. This is why you're seeing SPC warnings for tornadoes in this area. I'll get to look at all the tornado chasers and watch their feeds a little bit. And this is really going to show me how high the storms are and how low the storms are, if there are any supercells that set up, exactly where they are in the atmosphere. And we'll have a lot of data to pay attention to and some video to watch as these slide across. It does dissipate significant tornado parameter does anyway, as the system moves off to the east. But absolute concern for all modes of severe weather, including tornadoes, there in southeast Kansas for sure, as you can see. Temperatures, all this is not going to knock us down too far. Tomorrow, Wednesday, still going to get up to 74 for a high, and then we are going to drop down, and things are just going to be cool and rainy. We have at least a 30% chance of rain all the way well into the weekend. But if I had to pick out a definite time, I am looking at the Friday afternoon. I think we have light scattered showers for sure all morning Friday at this point. But by Friday afternoon, I see a little bit more widespread rains all into Friday evening before Friday in the overnight. Look at some more congealing heading off toward uh, southeast Missouri again, which has been dealing with plenty of storm activity lately. So, lot to unpack today, a lot to keep an eye on. But that is the data. We'll be checking it again this evening and seeing what takes shape when and where. I appreciate